Many thanks for choosing us. Let's begin with the Ghana Private Road Transport Union that is expected to meet the Transport Ministry and discuss increase in transport fares. GPRTU had indicated transport fares will be increased on February 26 after a meeting with the Transport Minister. Last year, transport operators embarked on a day's strike to protest the increment in fuel prices, forcing the government to direct GOIL to reduce its prices by 30%. In just 3 months, the prices are back on the ascendancy, reviving considerations of possible increment in transport fares. We've been speaking to some people on the streets of Accra who say well, they say fuel prices are up again, with some oil marketing companies selling products at nearly 8 cedis. Total Oil, for instance, has all products currently selling at 7.990. GOIL sells at 7.80 and Shell also sells at 7.90. Cumulatively, this will mean more than a 1 cedi increment in the prices of the product in just 2022. Spokesperson of the GPRTU, Mura Abbas, joins me for more. Ms. Abbas, I'm grateful for your time. Has the meeting with the Transport Minister started yet?
Yes, we are here to meet the Minister. It will be a later part of the day.
Okay, so as you meet the Minister, what are the issues on the table?
Oh, Sister Aisha, it's as simple as we said the other day that we presented 30% upward adjustment. And as we were going on the negotiating table, the coalition sent us with a word that we should not reduce less than 20%, of which we sat and were struggling on the 20%. The government was also sticking to 10%, and we have to ask for postponement to this week, of which it was agreed upon. So we came back and we had to meet the government machinery again this week as requested, and we will do our best to make sure we come up with something reasonable. Whilst we are working out to get something good for our drivers, we're also thinking about the passengers as well, looking at the current economic situation in which we are. We always want to be realistic, very reasonable to our people. So let's meet the government machinery and come back, and we strongly believe we will come back with something very good for all of us.
But some of your members are unhappy that you've held on for too long. I mean, the last time the commercial drivers, private commercial drivers, were not happy that you say you will not increase your prices, but they wanted to go ahead to increase transport.
It's just unfortunate, Sister Aisha. It's just unfortunate. These are people, we all sat together, we all reason together, we all form a committee president. And we started this issue somewhere last year when we were agitating on scrapping out of some taxes and levies. When we came back this year, we decided that it wasn't workable and it's going to take a long time. So we changed the goalpost to coming up with upward adjustment lorry fare. It wasn't long. This is the first time we met with government machinery on the upward adjustment. And if today we are to meet, today is the second time. So we don't see it has been too long the way they are talking about, as if it has been postponed for about 2-3 times, which hasn't been the case. It hasn't been the case at all. And these are the very people whom we all agreed, and they said we should not go below 20%. We went and we got stuck to 20%. We came back, informed them, just for 3 of them going behind us, coming out with 30%. My sister, we are about 16 private transport operators, and all of us cannot go and sit on the negotiations. So some people were picked. And of course, we did that reasonably, because if married couples are going to discuss about some disturbances of their newborn babies, Somebody has an approach, what business do you have doing there?
So you're meeting the transport minister this afternoon, and hopefully you will come up with increase in transport fares.
Immediately we'll come out immediately after the meeting.
The meeting with the transport minister.
Yes.
All right, we'll be monitoring that. We'll be monitoring that meeting about tomorrow. I'm grateful for your time. He's spokesperson for GPRTU, and we'll bring you updates of that meeting. Now, the Student Representative Council of Second Cycle Institutions in the Ashanti region is appealing to the government for timeous release of food and funds under the free SHS policy. The observed recent delays in deliveries to most schools have resulted in shortage of food items, hampering academic activities. The council also implored the government to reinstate the contributions of parent-teacher associations in various schools. Emmanuel Bright Kweku has more.
Delayed supply of non-perishable food items and funds to second cycle institutions remains a major challenge, denting the effective implementation of government's free senior high school policy. Delayed release of funds has led to shortage in food supplies, affecting the menu in most schools. President of the Ashanti Regional SRC, Delancy Ama Ayache, stressed a stringent monitoring and supervision of supplies would ensure effective and efficient running of the free SHS policy.
Under the current arrangement of the free SHS policy, the role of buffer stock company in the supply of non-perishable foods to schools has become so crucial. We call on government to ensure the timely release of food in the right quantities to our schools. Our schools have experienced a number of shortages in the supply in the course of previous semesters, making it difficult to follow the menu.
The 25th anniversary launch by the Ashanti Regional SRC brought home over 300 SRC executives from 90 senior high schools across the region. The event aimed at briefing participants on activities earmarked for the association's Silver Jubilee Anniversary celebration and a dialogue on issues plaguing most senior high schools. Addressing the participants, Ms. Ayache noted contributions from parent-teacher associations stalled due to the rollout of free SHS. This, she says, has affected developmental projects which could be absorbed by the association.
The commendable free SHS policy, with its attendance restrictions on the PTA, has gradually brought the valuable contributions of PTA to a halt. This has affected our schools and the kind of support they used to enjoy from the contributions of parents who are also stakeholders of the school. We do understand the good intentions of the policy to check exploitation and unnecessary punishment of students for non-payment of PTA dues by their parents, which was the order of the day. We are however pleading that a minimum seal of a small amount of money could be provided for PTAs to still contribute to support schools in areas of infrastructure, maintenance of facilities, and many other areas in dire need by our schools.
For Joy News, Emmanuel Bright Kweku reporting.
Students of the Savelugu Senior High School in the Northern Region have refused to attend class, protesting meals offered them. They also have gone on rampage. The riot was sparked after they accused school authorities of feeding them with expired milk and tin of fish. The students also said the meals offered was very small for young adults like themselves.
The rampaging students pelted stones on the roof of the dining hall amid shouts of "We will not eat," among other chants. Speaking to Joy News, one of the students said the protest was bound to happen, adding that it was just a matter of time because of the mirage of challenges they are facing.
It's something that is expected to do so long term, but it's going to happen earlier because we couldn't prepare. Now it has happened. It is the fact, it is the reality that it should have happened in case. And what the reason is that the students of service are not treated well as students are expected to be treated. And this is because the reason for the demonstration is that the way they treat us, example as our meal, the way the meal that we are taking is not enough, and they are giving us an expiring product like the milk that you can see, and the sardine and all other aspects of the food are not well prepared, and they are not even well cooked food for the students. When they are consuming, their lives are in danger or they are not in good health. So this one can lead them not to participate well in academic and other ways or all activities in life. And one more thing is that the school, we don't have electricity right now. But because, and that is, it has started last semester, and it even took 1 week before they could solve it. And right now it has happened again, which is now about 4 days or so. And this is not all good for the students. Actually, we have been saying this, even to the masters, as my colleague has said, we start for a general meeting and also SRC meeting, and we speak out and we speak our problems to them, but we are not seeing any change.
Another student also raised similar concerns, but added that Muslim prayers in the school has been restricted to 3 minutes, something he says is woefully inadequate. This, he said, is not fair.
When they prepare the food and you take it 1 to 3, you will sick. And when you fall sick and you have to go out and buy medicine, they will ask you to come and sign an exit. After signing the exit, when you come back, you have to work for going out. But we don't understand the reason for signing the exit. How come that a person will sign an exit and come back and work again as a criminal? So what is the use of the exit? And the second is that when people give out their problem to the masters, they don't want to listen to them. We are obeying their rules, but nowadays we don't understand what they will need again. Because last week they came and told us that we have to stop the prayers, that is too long. Anyway, we didn't say anything. And just this past Friday, the head of the school told the gymnasts that their prayers are disturbing the prayer. But how come the people will be in a school and they can't participate or practice their religion? We don't understand all these things. And we are here to tell him that we are very tired about that. He has to stop whatever he is doing and listen to our issue that we have to him.
Northern Regional Correspondent Martina Bugri reports the students have boycotted classes.
The students continue to boycott the dining hall, even though some have attended, but I'm told majority have refused to have meals in the school, insisting that they want the right thing done. Aside that, they were called this morning by the school authorities to be addressed, and they refused to listen. The first 2 lessons for this morning were not attended, and so the students are on campus though, but are not attending classes. Some, I'm told, are heading towards the Saviligu Chief Palace, that's the UNAS Palace, to also lay a complaint. As we speak now, the municipal chief executive, the municipal education director, the PTA of the PTA chairman, and some other executives are in the school right now to meet with the school authorities.
Almost half of all fire hydrants across the country are not functioning. That is according to the fire service. The situation exposes the country to the dangers of fire outbreaks as the service is handicapped in fighting fire. Here in Accra, many of them are either damaged, hidden, or with no water at all. My colleague Justice Vado went in search of some of these hydrants.
This was the scene from one of the worst fire disasters in Makola, one of Ghana's largest markets, last year. A 3-story building razed to the ground, and along with it, property running into millions of cedis. When the fire happened in July 2021, the fire service, which is housed barely 500 meters away, spent hours in search of water before they could make it here. Onlookers said their delay was part of the reasons why the fire did the damage it did. Today, the traders are building back from the rubble. Right across the road, there is brisk business. It's a Saturday, Makola's big sales day. This is a fire hydrant tucked away just underneath the giant Makola Market building. It looks old and abandoned. You need to look really hard to find it. The traders here have displayed their wares on it. This woman sells earrings, and it is on the hydrant that she sells.
So this here is one of the many fire hydrants that are hidden inside the Okainshi market and also parts of the Makola market. In here, you could find a very busy day, a Saturday when market activities are at its peak, and you find traders selling their wares all around the hydrant. You have someone selling earrings all around the hydrant. People sit around here to do their business, and many of the people who trade and do business here are not even aware that these are fire hydrants and do not know what to do around them in case there is fire. Fire hydrant, Debbie.
I don't know what a fire hydrant is. When there's fire, I'll run away. Everyone will run away. Even when there's fire, I don't think we'll find water in this hydrant. I know this is a fire hydrant, but I don't know anything about it. If I notice there's fire, I'll help fetch water to douse it. I know also that when you add detergent to water, it helps douse fire faster, so that's what I'll do.
I have come to Jamestown. This place used to be called British Accra, and many of fire services hydrants, a lot of them laid from the colonial days, are here. Mensah has lived in Jamestown for the most part of his life. He has come to show me one fire hydrant which is now filled with rubbish, choked, and looking like one that is out of use.
Titino say jato ha bebia ahaya no fire for no be connect nsuo no wo ho ade no de dum ja no anom de ko be foforo eko dum ja no ba nan say de enti say bio hydrant no ye hu de mu de aye no first
this hydrant used to work. I don't know what happened to it.
I don't know
there used to be water in it. We used to even fish from it. It became a refuse dump. People drop stones, put leftovers, everything is dumped into it.
Back at Makola, business continues. But the traders here, many of them who have seen different fire outbreaks rip through the market in the past, know they are sitting on a ticking time bomb, not knowing when the next fire would come, and worse, not knowing if there would be a working hydrant with water to save them and their property. Justice Baidu, Joy News, Accra.
The distribution of nomination forms turned chaotic in the Menchia North constituency office of the New Patriotic Party. Armed police had to be deployed to maintain order as constituency executives were accused of giving preferential treatment to some party members. Kofi Asari reports.
Nana be yesro ye dinamidi patel ye patel yesro bomo di be Menchia no for my na de mpanifo ye omumu aye na ye timi break ye. How can we break the 8 if these things are happening?
The party members protested a decision by the constituency executives to sell the forms to them when they had already been paid for by the Ashanti regional chairman of the party. The executives, however, explained Chairman Wontumi paid for 1,000 forms to be given to incumbent polling station officers New entrants were therefore not covered. Yao Geraldo is the chairman of the NPP election committee, Misha North constituency.
The regional chairman has paid for 1,000 of the forms, and as it stands, we have about 2,000 and over forms here. So, should even the regional chairman pay for 1,000? Mathematically, Nyaobe Mufufrono will fall beyond the 1,000. Exactly.
This explanation did not go down well with the party members who had massed up at the constituency office to pick up forms to contest various positions at the polling station level.
If the forms are not given to us, there wouldn't be any election dimension of. That is what we are saying. It's not a threat, but we know what to do, whether we take it to court or anything.
My delegate, 12 years in here. Your
first time here, and one moment experience this fucking thing. And one more way, Yaniabre, Akufado, Yastrau, Bram, and Prancer. Woman, Sianoff,
Though police intervened to maintain order, the angry party members struggled their way through to get their forms.
Police station executive kakra me bayalo. Ana matade atete o. Form way. Anya bibia o. Police station awrade. Ade asam kra na e wo mu sa.
Yao Geraldo said the executives would have to consider postponing the process.
Some have received their own. If we are unable to share it today, then it means that we'll have to consider maybe postponing it to maybe 2 days or otherwise, just for everybody to get his or her fair share of the process. Investigations will be going on and we'll gather all the facts and get it to the regional executive committee so that proving will be done, so that the right measures will be taken to make sure that the constituency will have peace and order.
A report by Kofi Asari.
And in the last few minutes, there's been a statement released from the NPP office. It says the election of polling station executives in the Ashanti region for the ruling New Patriotic Party has been extended until February 25, 2022. Regional Chairman Bernard Njibwe-Siako says the plan is to make it easier for party members who want to run for polling station posts to participate. He spoke. Yes, we'll be bringing you a lot more on this statement. But of course, the Director for Elections and Research at the NPP, Evans Nemakon, says he's appealed to the party members to follow due process.
That is put in place, mandating the polling station and electoral area elections committee to make sure that all prospective aspirants are given access to procure forms to enable them participate in this all-important election. And so we expect that the committee, as well as well-meaning party members, will comply strictly by the rules of the game, the party constitution, as well as the rules and regulations that have been put together by the National Council. The very few issues that have come to us, the General Secretary, if you care to know, is now in Ashanti region and Bono region to see things for himself, to have first-hand information, and not to depend on so much of third-party report. It is true that in some few places, some disagreement may have occurred. It's because we are just into 2 days of the 16-day program. Saturday, Sunday, today is the third day. For us at the headquarters, we've made available enough nomination forms to all the committee members. And in the event that they run out, they know how to procure more forms to be sold to all prospective candidates. We appeal to members to remain calm and go to appropriate offices to procure forms.
Labour disputes and resolution expert Austin Garma says there's a need to keep the National Labour Commission independent from partisan politics to ensure effective performance of the entity in resolving industrial disputes. He spoke on the AM show.
Government is an employer. Government does partisan politics It's about human resource management. It's about ensuring that the relationship is well built. And that's why you employ other people to support you in delivering that mandate. So we cannot hide. And that's why in the law, we created space for National Labour Commission government. It's left in the care of the three bodies: employers, government, and labor, constituting the tripartite body, as the ILO itself is also constituted. That's how we made it. And therefore, if you select people onto the commission, the people are expected to be completely independent. You have no attachment to the people who even select you. Your only attachment is to keep advising them to ensure that they are in conformity with the law. Is just one of the subject matters anybody can just jump into and make mockery of it and go away. And that is the consequence. So clearly, we must change. There is a shift. There must be a shift. Otherwise, you will paralyze.
Austin Garma is a labor consultant. Now, the Ghana Science and Tech Explorer Challenge Prize is aiming at nurturing about 20,000 junior high school pupils through practical learning and the development of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. At a virtual meeting of stakeholders in STEM, Education Minister called for public-private sector collaboration in improving the delivery of STEM education right from the basic schools. There's more in the following report.
Immediately, the rubber step on the to produce alarm to alert the community so that the community is going to.
Some enthusiastic pupils pitching a security alarm system at a hack event organized by the Ghana Science and Technology Explorer Prize GSTEP. The initiative is part of a 3-year program aimed at challenging students to develop innovative ideas in dealing with societal problems. At a virtual meeting of stakeholders in STEM ahead of the GSTEP Pilot Challenge Prize, Education Minister Dr. Yawose Iduchum said STEM education is the bedrock of Ghana's transformation agenda.
STEM has been prioritized, but we also understand the expertise in STEM is vested in the private sector. Education as a public sector enterprise is just trying to catch up. We have the expertise at Nesta, at Dreamover, at MEST. These are the entities that have the expertise in this country. Their partnership with the Ministry of Education will unleash that talent for the benefit of our students.
Delivering a speech on behalf of the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Madam Olivia Opari, listed some initiatives undertaken by the service to improve the STEM delivery.
Training of science and mathematics teachers under the SIP project, and that's a secondary education improvement project. Training of science teachers on the effective use of science equipment, and it is ongoing. We are training about 670 senior high school teachers on the effective use of the science equipment and then chemical supply.
Starting June 2022, the GSTEP Pilot Project Prize is expected to be launched. The competition is targeted at tasking JHS students in Greater Accra and Ashanti regions to come up with creative projects. Senior Vice President at Dream Oval Foundation, Francis Ahene Afu, gives more details.
In August, we're going to do the assessment and selection of the projects that have been submitted. So we're going to narrow down all submissions to 100 finalist groups. And then the final support comes in between September and October, where we mentor and coach and support them. We're going to have the final assessment in November, and that will be the pitching and selection. This is where the children, the groups created, will bring the project that their mentors and coaches have helped them to shape, to submit it to a panel. And then in December 2022, we're going to have the exhibition and award ceremony.
The 3-year GSTEP program, which is run by a consortium of 5 organizations, will engage and equip 20,000 young Ghanaians with the skills, support 500 teachers to grow their confidence in engaging the minds of young people in STEM.
Oh,
they have stolen. Sign. Fire! Double fire!
And still to come in business, Ghana aiming to become the best cyber security country in Africa. There's details shortly in business.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Ghana is aiming to become the best cyber-secure country in Africa from its current third position. This, when achieved, will open more doors for investments in the digital space and improve on the country's economy. Now, according to Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esther Usu-Kufu, this target is achievable looking at the significant investment government is pushing into the cyberspace. She was speaking at the inauguration of an 11-member governing board for the Cybersecurity Authority in Accra. Here's her report. The Cybersecurity Authority under the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization has been in charge of efforts by government to safeguard the country's cyberspace. This has positioned Ghana as the third best country in Africa with robust cybersecurity systems. The authority, after achieving this feat, is now aiming to be the best on the continent. Speaking at the inauguration of the 11-member governing board of the Cybersecurity Authority, Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esther Usu-Kufu, challenged the authority to strive hard towards achieving the new targets.
Our duty is to ensure that we attain this objective that has been set for the organization, but it is doable because being third was attained within the last 3-4 years. And so if we aim at being number one within the next 5 years, I think it's doable. We've also ratified the Budapest and Malabo Conventions, which is the African Convention on Personal Data Protection and Cybersecurity, and the European Convention on Cyber Crimes. And I think we're one of the few countries on the continent which has done both. And that's also a source of pride for us.
Mrs. Usu-Kufu urged the board to support the authority because the country cannot sustain its achievement in the digital ecosystem without cybersecurity due to rising online attacks.
Where we all recognize that digitalization underpins our socio-economic development, and security of our cyber installations and interactions is the other side of the coin of digitalization. For we can't sustain our efforts at building our digital economy without focusing on cybersecurity, because cyber attacks could undermine all our gains in digitalization. It could destroy our social and economic well-being and our national security.
Minister for National Security, Minister for Defense and Acting Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority are some of the members of the governing board. The Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, has launched an electronic payment platform which allows customers to purchase power in the comfort of their homes. NEDCO is partnering Broad Spectrum to offer this service. Now, speaking at the launch, Managing Director Osman Ayuba said the product was designed in response to customers' call for a more flexible and accessible medium through which they can buy power. Here's more.
The e-platform has 3 forms that one can buy power, either by an app, a web, or through NSSB, where you follow a prompt like it is done in the mobile money business to buy power. The e-platform is set to allow customers to purchase power wherever and when they want. Speaking at the launch, the managing director of NEDCO, Osman Ayuba, said the product was born after customers called for a more flexible and accessible medium they can buy power.
The product has been on trial for a few months now, and we are proud to announce that the transaction success rate so far has been tremendous. In fact, my manager ICT tells me that month on month we are having over 50% increase every month. This is very laudable.
A board member, Chief Musa Badum Sugru, who represented the board chair, appealed for support to enable NEDCO install more prepaid meters in the area.
As you could see there on the graph they were showing, this would be our savior. Fortunately, our regional minister is here, and we have seen that prepaid meters installation is what is going to save this country.
The Deputy Minister for Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, commended NEDCO for their initiative, but appealed for the inclusion of those who are not using smart meters.
While commending NEDCO on this, I have been informed that the platform is not available to users of non-smart meters like myself. I hope you will change my meter to the smart one, so that people like us who are absentee residents, who leave our homes in the care of our security, can manage our consumption, monitor our consumption, and then the bills for that matter. This could be denied a significant number of your customers the benefits of this fine initiative. Accordingly, therefore, I wish to task the management of NEDCO to take urgent steps to broaden the scope of this initiative in a manner that makes it all-encompassing, so that the positive ends of it are reaped by all. Ladies and gentlemen, the ministry has also not been impressed about how NEDCO has managed materials of the ministry in your stores. This has caused the government significant losses, and this should not be allowed to continue. It would therefore be appropriate that your digitalization program also addresses the problem of stock management and accountability to ensure value for money for the people of Ghana.
And there's more business news coming up at the top of the hour on the marketplace. Up next, sports.
Good afternoon. Let's do sports now. Enjoy news today with me, Muftaru Nabila Abla. Reports coming in indicates that FIFA has decided to change the date Ghana will be playing Nigeria in the World Cup qualifiers playoff. The match, which was initially scheduled to kick off on Thursday, March 24, will now be played on Friday, March 25 at 19:30 hours GMT. That is 7:30 p.m. While the second leg will also happen on Tuesday, March 29. That is the statement that has come in from FIFA. Now let's talk about the Minister for Youth and Sports, Mustafa Usif, who has revealed that Ghana has paid $900,000 as commitment fee to host the 13th edition of the African Games. Ghana won the right to host the African Games in August 2018 after seeing off competition from Nigeria and Burkina Faso.
Despite the devastating impact of COVID-19, the government of Ghana is on course to provide the necessary sports infrastructure, create a conducive environment, and ensure that all the needed resources are put in place on time to host an exceptional African Games, Accra 2023. The protocol agreement was signed on the 29th October 2021. After the signing of the protocol agreement, Ghana has met its obligation of paying the initial $900,000 to the African Union as a commitment fee to host the 13th African Games. The government of Ghana is committing over $200 million to provide the international standard sports infrastructure for the Games and several millions of the US in activities before, during, and after the Games. The sports facilities being constructed at Boatima in Accra include Olympic standard 10-lane competition pool, an 8-lane warm-up swimming pool, a 5-meter deep Olympic diving pool, 5 tennis courts, including a 1,000-seater center court, 2 multipurpose hall, and each of them 1,000-seater. Also under construction at Baltimore is 400-meter athletic warm-up track, a football training pitch, an administrative block. As a legacy to the project, the facility at Baltimore will be transformed into a university for sports for development after the games.
The board chairman of the National Sports Authority, Seth Panwum, has directed the Northern Regional Sports Directorate to fix the playing surface of the Aliu Muhammad Stadium within 2 weeks. According to him, the pitch is not good enough to host football competition and should be worked on to be in a good condition. The Aliu Muhammad Stadium has not seen any major facelift since its construction for the 2008 African Cup of Nations. It was only rebranded from Tamale Sports Stadium to Aliu Muhammad Stadium without any major renovations. Meanwhile, the harsh weather conditions in the northern part of the country has not favored the playing field, leaving it in an appalling state. The facility serves as the home venue of Real Tamale United in the ongoing Ghana Premier League campaign. In the matches the club has hosted, the playing surface is often seen as dusty. Northern Regional Sports Director Salamatu Al-Hassan attributed the poor state of the pitch to many factors, including the playing styles of the teams.
The nature of this field, the current state of the field, is the weather. That is 1. 2, the pipe water is not helping us due to the chemicals inside the water. And so you just take a look at it now. When the rain starts, within 3-4 days, if you come here, you notice the changes. The whole place will be green. I think the chemicals they add in the water, this is what is not helping us. It's not about, we water it morning and the night, not even evening, in the night. Our system of play here is not also helping us. It's the whole country, not one club. The whole clubs. Maybe that's a system of coaching. They don't play on the wings. They play in the middle. If you want, I can just capture them one of these days, and then I'll send it to you. If you look at where the goalkeeper stands, because he's always standing at one place. Look at it.
The board chairman, Seth Panwum, directed that the pitch be fixed within 2 weeks.
I've heard your explanations being offered as to the nature of the pitch and the efforts or the steps you have taken on your own since the House of Folk match to have it ratified. But I would say that you still have to do much more as expected. Engage the other stakeholders involved in the sporting fraternity and usage of the facility.
And this is how we wrap up sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftar Nabila Abla. You can head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories. Up next is World News.